Get ready with me while I talk about my impulse decision to get plastic surgery.
We are in Korea because I'm getting surgery.
And today I'm getting double eyelid surgery.
Hey guys, come with me to get double eyelid surgery in Korea.
I'm going to Korea in the fall and I'm getting double eyelid surgery.
I recently went to Korea and got plastic surgery.
It's been exactly 1 week since I got my double eyelid surgery.
So it's officially been 1 week since my eyelid surgery.
Why do Asians love plastic surgery so much? If you've been on the East Asian side of social media or visited any of the countries there recently, you've probably noticed a common trend of young people all looking the same. And I'm not talking about the old all Asians look the same stereotype. I'm talking about those in their teens, 20s, 30s, and even 40s, all literally having the exact same facial features as each other. Those being double eyelids, a high, thin nasal bridge, V-line jaw, and ultra pale skin. Whilst wanting to look beautiful is something people from all countries share, China, Japan, and South Korea have taken it to a new level. In China, AI-powered apps like gengmei and soyoung, which boasts over 50 million users, have a feature called Magic Mirror, which assesses your face, gives you a score, and then tells you the surgeries you need to improve that score, all whilst connecting you to surgeons and clinics who are available to perform the surgery. Shifting to Japan, there's a rapidly increasing number of children younger than 18 going under the knife, several being as small as 9 years old. And with South Korea, it's estimated that 1 in 3 women have had plastic surgery, making it the country with the highest plastic surgery rate per capita. So, how did this all start? Why exactly has the plastic surgery phenomenon become so popular in East Asia? And finally, what effects does this have? Let's rewind to the aftermath of the Korean War. This period also saw the birth of East Asia's plastic surgery industry, with American military surgeon Dr. Ralph Millard playing a pivotal role. In 1954, Millard was stationed in South Korea, where he encountered young Korean women seeking to marry American soldiers. Millard believed that if women looked more Western, it would improve their chances of finding a man. And so he saw this as an opportunity and began developing surgical techniques to alter Asian facial features. Millard believed that by doing these surgeries, he was helping the women de-orientalize and assimilate to American society. Millard's most famous innovation was the double eyelid surgery, which creates a crease in the upper eyelid to make the eyes appear larger. This procedure, known as blepharoplasty, has now become the most requested cosmetic surgery in East Asia. He also developed the early techniques for nose augmentation and facial contouring, all aimed at making Asians have more of a Caucasian appearance. Though not as much the case anymore, during the post-war era in Korea, many Koreans did in fact view westernization as a path to modernization and economic success. Thus, altering one's appearance became a way to signal sophistication and upward mobility. Millard's techniques laid the foundation for what would become a multi-billion-dollar industry. Though perhaps the most long-lasting legacy of Millard's work is its influence on East Asian beauty standards. By framing Asian features as something to be fixed, these early surgeries reinforced the idea that Western features were inherently more desirable. Now, whilst the effects of those early days continue to influence perceptions of beauty and self-image across the region, the industry and popularity has grown far beyond Millard's initial work. So how did this cultural niche, concentrated of just South Korean women looking to date Americans, become a cultural trend encompassing both women and men across all of East Asia? But before I continue, I want to direct your attention to this comment on one of my past videos. What's with this guy's earrings? Bro has no aura. What this person fails to understand is, I actually do have aura, which leads me to today's sponsor, Aura, your all-in-one protection from identity theft, scams, and online threats. Many of you probably heard about the national data breach that happened last year, where around 2.9 billion personal records were leaked out into the open. Whilst most of us probably just changed our passwords, like I used to, that didn't change the fact that our personal information was now out there in the world for anyone to steal. Now, Aura protects you against this. They monitor your personal data, including your social security number, across billions of data points like the dark web and even public court records, to alert you about potential identity theft. And they believe in their products so much that every adult on the account gets 1 million in identity theft insurance to help cover eligible losses and fees, with up to a total of 5 million in coverage. But not only this, your subscription also comes with financial fraud protection, a VPN, computer antivirus, password manager, and US-based 24/7 support. I get this all in one app at one affordable price. I didn't leave myself vulnerable to data breaches, and if you don't want to either, you can go to aura.com/klaize to try 2 weeks for free. And that will be enough time for them to find if any of your personal data has been exposed. Thanks again to Aura. Now back to the video.
왜 성형을 이렇게 많이 한다고 생각을 하세요? 개인적으로?
지상주의, 외모지상주의.
이뻐야 돼요. 뭘 하든지.
이뻐야 되고 잘생겨져야 되고.
Because of how plastic surgery was first introduced in East Asia, it's only natural for many to believe that the reason so many Asians get plastic surgery is for the same reason as it was back then, that it revolves around being ashamed of your heritage. And whilst European imperialism is still very much a part of it, for most people, that isn't even considered when one contemplates about getting cosmetic surgery. Though having double eyelids, high nasal bridge, and V-line jaw are features most commonly seen in white people, those getting cosmetic surgery for this don't generally view themselves as trying to de-orientalize themselves, like what Millard suggested in the 50s. Frankly, it's closer to the exact opposite. And I know some of you might be thinking, what about trying to look as white as possible being a staple in the Asian beauty standard? How is that not trying to replicate the way Westerners look and influenced by European imperialism? Well, in most of East Asia, having pale skin has long been linked to the upper class. And this goes all the way back to ancient times when people in higher social standings didn't work under the sun. So they naturally had lighter skin. This contrasted with the farmers and laborers who were out in the fields all day and got tanned. So over time, having lighter skin became a symbol of wealth and not having to do physical labor. And thus, instead of being a racial thing, it's more about classism.
I met so many people who have some difficulties to find a job before surgery, and when they have consultation, they complain that they cannot find a job. And after the surgery, 1 year later, they visit my clinic again and tell me that they finally find the job.
In many East Asian cultures, looking good is really important and influences both social and work life. Historically, how you looked could even affect your social status and job opportunities. For instance, in Japan during the Heian period, the court nobles often followed elaborate beauty practices, like having long flowy hair and wearing layers of silk robes, which set them apart from the common people. And not looking presentable would literally put you at risk for demotion. This would be the same for China's concubines for the emperor. And so, though they are old beliefs, they have undoubtedly carried over time. In today's East Asia, appearances can make a big difference in making a strong first impression, which is also highly valued in both social and professional settings. For example, in the workplace, someone who is attractive is often seen as someone who's more professional and capable, and ultimately, more employable. This can affect decisions about who gets hired or promoted. In fact, a large national survey conducted in China found that 83% of respondents believed that being beautiful has an effect on daily life and improves quality of life. Additionally, according to a survey on appearance and plastic surgeries in South Korea, 67% of the respondents stated that it is acceptable to have plastic surgery to improve chances of getting a job or for marriage. A part of this is likely due to the society over there being so competitive. And thus, there's a lot of pressure to look perfect and fit the beauty standards of East Asian media and pop culture, solely to get that advantage over others in the workplace. Subsequently, these people see plastic surgery not as a way to just look better, but as a crucial investment for their careers and social lives. Hey, maybe if I got plastic surgery, I'd get more views. Talking about media and pop culture though, K-pop and J-pop have become cultural powerhouses, further cementing beauty standards there. Groups like BTS, Blackpink, and New Jeans, sorry, just jeans with a Z. If you know, you know. They aren't just musical acts. They're trendsetters whose impact extends far beyond the stage. The idol look is a carefully crafted aesthetic that includes the double eyelids, high nasal bridge, and small V-shaped face. This look has become so pervasive that fans often go to extreme lengths just to look like the Temu version of their favorite idol. Actually, even white people are getting in on this action. Just look at Ollie London, the influencer trying to look like Jimin. But because of this rise in popularity, it's essentially created a new normal for beauty, one that's practically unattainable without intervention. And this is backed up by the research paper, Beauty Capital of the World, a synthetic analysis of the historical evolution of cosmetic surgery in South Korea, where it concludes that the increase in media portrayals and the idolization of flawless celebrities further reinforce these beauty ideals, making cosmetic enhancements seem not only desirable but almost essential in life. The reason for all this, however, ultimately stems from something called social comparison theory, first proposed by psychologist Leon Festinger in 1954. Funny enough, same year as when Millard introduced plastic surgery to South Korea. Anyhow, this theory suggests that we naturally compare ourselves to others, checking out their abilities and looks, especially if we think they are more successful or better looking than us. So when we see someone really attractive online, on TV, or social media, it's common for us to either consciously or subconsciously compare ourselves to them. And of course, this sort of comparison isn't just in East Asia. In the West, we see attractive influencers like Leah Holton, Brooke Monk, Charli D'Amelio, and it'd only be natural for girls to compare themselves to how they look physically. I mean, I certainly do with their male counterparts, like Brent Rivera. But the thing is, they fit the Western beauty standards, all whilst looking physically vastly different from one another. Of course, some Westerners still get plastic surgery. However, if you look at what the most popular surgeries are in the US, it's liposuction, breast augmentation, tummy tuck, and breast lift. Half of it is just trying to look skinnier, and the other half is trying to make your boobs look better. Not homogenizing your face to look the same as every influencer online like it is in East Asia, where the top 3 cosmetic surgeries for China, Japan, and South Korea are all double eyelids, rhinoplasty, and jawline contouring. And so, in comparison, what you see on the screen right now is 6 random douyin influencers I found on my For You page. I'm using women for consistency's sake, but this also applies to men. And what you'll quickly come to notice is that unlike those TikTokers I mentioned, these Chinese influencers objectively have the same features as one another. Double eyelids, high thin nasal bridge, V-line jaw. And as what Remy Z would say,
you have big eyes, small face. I like it. What's your WeChat?
But once again, what this reinforces is that in China and East Asia as a whole, there's only a single form of beauty, almost like a goal for one to attain, which can only be achieved through plastic surgery. And so at this point, like Clash Royale, it's just a pay-to-win system, where those who can afford it are rewarded with beauty, happiness, and self-confidence. The winners, and those who can't, either sadness or acceptance. The losers. And finally, the widespread use of camera filters adds to this. Many studies have shown that excessive beauty filters such as Meitu, the most popular app in East Asia for this, acts as a gateway into plastic surgery. This is because instead of comparing ourselves to someone else, we're now up against a hyper-idealized version of ourselves. Filters and editing apps push this narrative that we aren't enough because we don't match these enhanced versions of ourselves that do meet the beauty standards. And instead of knowing that this look is a digital hypothetical, all I would need to do is pay a couple thousand to make it into reality. So knowing that there's a correlation between using photo filters and wanting plastic surgery, how popular exactly are these apps? Well, as someone who actually bought stocks in Meitu, mid last year they released an investor report. Within that, they boasted that the app now has over 258 million active users. As well as that, back in 2022, it was revealed that Meitu's average monthly generated images exceeds 7 billion. So what are the effects? Well, aside from the fact that extremely attractive couples are going to be having average at best looking children, at least according to East Asian beauty standards. Well, to start off with, whilst figures on how much the cosmetic surgery industry is worth in East Asia fluctuates a bit, one which I found interesting is experts estimate that the plastic surgery industry in just China alone, not counting Japan or South Korea, will be worth over 200 billion, 5 times the 40.6 billion it's currently valued at in 2024, which, funny enough, will be almost double China's plastic industry, which is estimated to be at only 112 billion. But back to topic. The destigmatization of plastic surgery, along with, frankly, the implementation of it being required to achieve the East Asian beauty look, also means that because it's something that anyone can theoretically achieve, as it's no longer a genetic lottery, in its own messed up way, it has evened out the playing field. No longer is it only based on luck, rather based on who can afford it. After all, pay to win isn't completely a negative thing. But whilst there may be some positives with this boom, holistically speaking, the detriments heavily outweigh the positives.
We're about to go meet a 9-year-old girl who was advised by her mom to get double eyelid surgery. It's a procedure that adds an extra fold in your eyelid to make your eyes look bigger.
Earlier at the start of the video, I mentioned that kids as young as 9 are getting plastic surgery. And whilst obviously the blame is on the parents for allowing them to undergo such procedures, the fact that kids who aren't even old enough to get their pen license are pleading for their parents to get double eyelid surgery stems from the immense insecurities created from such beauty standards, which are gatekept by surgical procedures. Studies from 3 separate studies, one for each country, China, Japan, and South Korea, all found that the East Asian beauty standard had a direct correlation with issues to mental health, as well as specifically body dysmorphia. All 3 also shared a distinct message, which was, and I'm paraphrasing here, the beauty requirements indirectly convey to women and girls and men to a lesser degree who do not possess these features to be unworthy and unattractive. This societal pressure of having to look exactly perfect causes East Asians to reconsider their self-esteem, later causing mental health issues. And whilst that's not the main cause as to why there's a mental health crisis among East Asians, though I did make a video specifically about that, which you can check out later, there's definitely a general consensus among psychologists that those who feel the need to conform to these standards are impacted negatively. But who are the ones who feel the need to conform? And why is it practically everyone? I want to shine light on this article here from the Nanyang Technological University in Singapore. Impact of culture on the pursuit of beauty, evidence from 5 countries. The article talks about the concept of self-construal and how it refers to how connected or separate we feel from others. If you have an independent self, you see yourself as an individual who is different from others. Conversely, if you have an interdependent self, you feel more connected with others and view yourself as part of a collective. Typically, Westerners often view themselves as independent, embracing individualism, while Easterners who lean towards collectivism tend to see themselves as interdependent. Research shows that motivation to adhere to beauty standards is stronger among those who value collectivism and are interdependent. Essentially, this entire topic revolves around what source people derive their self-worth from, with those from collectivist cultures finding satisfaction in being part of a group, unlike those who are independent. And so, to examine the impact of collectivism on conforming to beauty standards, researchers from this study recruited women from both China and Canada to evaluate their views on a hypothetical beauty product presented as an instant skin perfector that promised instant radiant even-toned skin right when you need it. They assessed the women's feelings about the product, their willingness to pay for it, as well as their level of interdependent self-construal. They were given 4 statements and were tasked with rating how much they agreed or disagreed with it. Those being, my happiness depends on the happiness of those around me. I'll sacrifice my self-interest for the benefit of the group I'm in. I often have a feeling that my relationships with others are more important than my own accomplishments, and it's important to me to respect decisions made by the group. The findings revealed that participants from China who also had a stronger interdependent self-construal had more positive attitudes towards the beauty-enhancing product than those from Canada, who had a weaker interdependent self-construal. The results also revealed that the Chinese participants were willing to pay more for the product than their Canadian counterparts. Following this initial study, researchers conducted 2 more studies, one on China and India compared to the US, and one solely on Singapore, a country also with a strong collectivist culture, and got similar results, further confirming the link between collectivism, self-construal levels, and conformity to beauty ideals. Furthermore, as human desires are often seen as endless, 1 or 2 cosmetic surgeries can often quickly spiral into a full-blown addiction, where you just want more and more done. An example of this would be the story of Zhou Chuna, a Chinese girl where by the age of 16 had over 100 surgeries and had side effects such as muscle twitching, facial nerve failure, memory loss, and brain damage due to the overuse of anesthetic. But as more and more people want more and more procedures done, demand rises. This also leads to a cosmetic surgery black market. It's estimated that 60,000 unlicensed clinics operate across China, performing risky procedures that can lead to devastating consequences. These are illegal clinics, often staffed by untrained practitioners, offer cut-rate procedures that can result in disfigurement and severe health complications. One high-profile case is from singer and actress Goryeo, who suffered severe complications after being deceived into getting a nose job from a plastic surgery hospital that was not qualified, resulting in tissue necrosis. But China isn't the only country facing this issue. South Korea also shares a similar problem as ghost doctors haunt the plastic surgery industry. Ghost doctors are those who perform an operation on behalf of the surgeon when they are not the doctor who was hired for the operation. Though obviously unethical and illegal for ghost doctors to operate in the first place, in most cases, it's even more dangerous because these individuals lack the necessary qualifications or medical licenses to practice the operation.
Doctor, what's wrong? Don't you know where to make the incision?
All right, Nick, don't panic. Think back to med school.
The reason for this, you might ask? Well, it's so the advertised surgeon can essentially operate on multiple patients at once, without actually having to operate at all, and thus, of course, maximizing his profits. This all came to a halt after the infamous Kwang Da-hee case, however. Kwang Da-hee was a university student who passed away after excessive bleeding after undergoing jawline surgery from a ghost doctor. Kwong's mother found out after reviewing CCTV footage that her son's surgery was not under the hired surgeon, but a random doctor, and most of the surgery was actually performed by a nursing assistant. Due to this, on September 25th, 2023, the installation of CCTV in operating rooms of medical institutions while the patient is unconscious was fully implemented. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If there's any topics you'd like me to talk about, please let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate if you gave that subscribe button a little wiggle, as it really helps me out. However, if you're curious as to why so many East Asians have video game addictions, this video might be for you. Regardless of whether or not you watch it though, I hope you have an awesome start to 2025, and as always, if you're eating right now, I hope you're having a wonderful meal. I'll catch you later.